Hi, it's Paul. People often tell me, why don't you have a podcast? Why don't you have well, I don't want to do a podcast thing about me because it's really not about me. What I talk about all the time is the sense that we're all born with that nobody really uses anymore. We still have it, but we never use it. It's common sense. And common sense is the knowing that you have that you were born with of what's right. I don't want to say right and wrong, but what's the most appropriate thing to do in any situation. What the answer for you individually is. Not that there's a universal answer for everybody for every question, because there isn't. You're a unique individual in life, and you have a connection to your creator. It's actually what's beating your heart, breathing your breath right now. Whatever that life is that's inside you, that awareness, that presence, that divine presence is there, is always available to you. And we each share a piece of that presence. We call it, people call it God. There's many names for it, and we argue over the names rather than the idea of being connected to that presence, so that we can get the answer that we each need individually for whatever we're going through in our life. And it's such a simple thing, but we're so locked up in our heads all the time that we fail to take some time to get quiet, to reconnect to that presence. And every teacher that ever was, any teaching, any teacher that ever talked about any form of getting your crap together, being centered, whatever they call it, it's all connecting to that same common sense, the knowing that we already have that we were born with, and we have that in common, and it's a sense. So it's not a thinking. It has nothing to do with your head, because your head is the problem. That's why you're having problems right now. It's because your head is telling you stories about the past. That's all it has in it, is the past. And so you're recreating the past, and you're wondering why nothing changes. Okay. So I didn't want to make this about me. I just want to remind that what I really need in my life and what you need in your life is people to remind us that, hey, you're stuck in your head. Drop down, get quiet, connect to the presence within you. Chill out, dude. Everything's cool, right? And when you can start to ask that presence, how should I look at this situation? You start to ask these better questions. You're building that relationship with the presence within you so that you can be the authentic self you were created to be, right? And that's for all of us. And so as we begin to ask those questions, I get little insight here and there. I find out what words mean, different insights depending on what question I'm asking. If I take the time to get quiet, I'm amazed at what comes to me, and I realize it's always available. That's what all the religious teachers are talking about. Be still and know I am, right? There's a presence with us. And I believe it's in every religion. And rather than argue over what we call that thing that we talk to, I call it the unknown, because no one really knows. All the great teachers talked about it, and they had a name for it. Some called it Jehovah, God, Brahma, with infinite number of names. But we're talking about the same presence that's centered and calm and knows exactly what it's doing. And there's no problems there, right? And so, but what happens is I get caught in my busy day. I had a programmed mind. I programmed it. You programmed your mind to tell you stories about what you think it should be rather than letting it be what it is, right? So what I need is you to remind me when I get crazy in my day. Dude, did you get quiet? Did you ask for that peace in your heart? Did you try to feel that connection to your source? Because if you'll take the time to get quiet and ask in your heart of hearts the answer to whatever you're struggling with, and don't think about it, just let it show up, I guarantee you'll get an answer. And I need you to remind me of that when I'm crazy. Because I get crazy, and you do too. And we need to remind each other, we're not supposed to be doing this alone. We're supposed to be doing this with each other. There's not 7.5 billion people here to fight amongst ourselves. We're supposed to be cooperating so we can live in harmony in the world. And you know this. You already know this. I'm speaking to the party that already knows. And you know what I'm talking about. But I can't do it alone. And I'm not a leader. Nobody's a leader here. We're all equals. We're on the same playing field here. You have the same connection to source as I do, so that you don't need to have a teacher telling you that. We need to work together to do this thing so we can create the world, the kingdom, if you will, that our creator gave us to live in. instead of destroying it. Maybe we can work in harmony and find ways that we can work together. Maybe all these people that are starving to death every day wouldn't have to starve. And all the problems that we face every day, arguing over what way we think it should be, that nonsense will stop. We'll just say, hey, how do we cooperate? How do we operate together in conjunction with each other? No matter what color or what your thoughts are, we got to stop the thinking and stop the doing and start the being. And allow for that human being that you were created to be to present itself brand new in the world today. And that's every single day. So I hope you'll join me. Common Sense Rocks. I'm going to probably do a couple of these things, but I really don't want to do a podcast about me. I want to start groups of people that share these ideas together, because I cannot do this alone, and nobody's meant to do it alone. So thanks so much for listening. You can contact me at Paul at commonsenserocks.com. I have a website, Common Sense Rocks, just for information only. I'm not trying to present anything here. Just trying to open you up to realize what the problem is, because the problem is right here. So I hope you'll join me. Thanks so much.